Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. I'm Jade Harrell and I'm joined by Jamie Ballantyne Dolby and Amber Clear today. We get together once a week and talk about the issues that affect us as women. Ladies, welcome back.
What is up, Jade? I missed you.
I do miss you too.
Jade.
Hi, Jamie. We're missing our friends today, but we are loving the chance to come back and talk some more today. Jamie, Amber, what are you ladies loving at this time?
I'm loving outside right now. I'm loving the outside is opening back up. I'm doing what I need to do to keep my family and I safe, but I'm really loving kind of re-exploring my city and the city surrounding me. So I'm loving the outside.
I am loving my new electric Jeep. So, with gas prices on the rise, I now have a vehicle, brand new. It's my first brand new vehicle to me, and I can plug it in. I can plug it at home. I can plug it in at work. I can go to the botanical gardens, plug it in. I go to the zoo and plug it in, and it's electric, and it is so cool, and I love it. It's my third Jeep, but my first electric vehicle. So it's a hybrid, but it's still electric.
I am loving that you treated yourself. I am loving that you went out and went for something big and that you are enjoying it. You can't beat that news.
Congratulations, Amber.
Oh, thank you.
Come on down. All right. Well, apparently, we all know and have experienced it, but when the global pandemic hit, all plans were halted and many industries were impacted tremendously, like the travel and tourism industry. There's now several vaccines available, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has released several updated guidelines, and the world seems to be opening back up, slowly but surely. To discuss tourism in the St. Louis region, we're happy to have with us today the president of Explore St. Louis, Kathleen "Kitty" Ratcliffe. Welcome, Kitty. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jade. It's so great to be with you.
Right. To even see you right now is such a treat. What are you loving? I want to toss the question your way. What are you loving right now?
Well, I'm loving that people are traveling again. I'm loving that people are feel comfortable and have gotten vaccinated and are re-exploring the places that they want to go. And that's a great opportunity for us to show everything that St. Louis has to offer. So I'm very excited about that.
For sure. Well, it sounds like it's both personal and professional for you.
It is, because I also want to travel.
For sure. Well, you would know a great deal about this, but I want our audience to get a sense of what you do and what it takes to be Kitty each day in this role.
Well, how much time do you have?
Right. Because I need
what
to
I
add,
do-
you're up to big things.
The organization that I work for is basically three different organizations in one. We are the travel and tourism marketing organization for the St. Louis region, which means we have a sales team that goes out and sells St. Louis for meetings and conventions, for leisure group business, like think bus tours, motor coach tours, or family reunions or military reunions. And then we also do the marketing for leisure travel, individual leisure travel. So we work with all of our partners in the region that are the hotels and the attractions and the restaurants and all the companies that provide services. So that's a big part of what I do every day, and working with everybody to get that message out and attract people here. But then I also run the convention center and the Dome Stadium that's attached to the convention center. And so that's the America Center complex, which is two different buildings. So those three things keep me pretty darn busy.
I would say they would keep a full staff busy. And here you are. I understand that you are the only woman in the country running three large organizations of this nature at this time. Was it like this before the pandemic?
Yeah, I've been doing this. I've been doing this since 2006. So I've been doing it for a long time here in St. Louis, but I've done parts of that in other places throughout my career. This is just the first time it's all all come together under one umbrella. So
Sure.
yeah, there aren't many cities that have it all the way that we have it. So
That's pretty
um,
phenomenal.
yeah, it makes it interesting. I learn something new every day. So it's good.
I bet you do. And I can imagine that the coordination efforts are immense. What did COVID, the pandemic, the shutdowns, the restrictions, and all those changes do for your business in particular and what you were trying to do?
Yeah, we aim to serve the community by doing economic development through tourism. So, our mission is to support the businesses and the people who work in those businesses in our region by attracting visitors to the community, and that was pretty much shut down. I mean, there was not much we could do for about a 2-month period, except try to figure out how to reopen and try to work with our partners to support them in identifying resources that were available for them to try to help them get through the time period. And, the opportunity that it presented was that we had to figure out how to do our business differently. We had to figure out how to communicate with people differently. Their needs were different. So we never stopped working. We never shut down. In fact, we never took a day off and we never worked from home. Although we offered the opportunity for people to work from home if their jobs didn't require them to be in the building, as an example. But it really, it really opened our eyes in terms of how we could do things differently, which ultimately leads to some like permanent organizational changes.
What kind of adjustments did you guys have to make for your staff even, I guess, during the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, we were, our sources of funding are really only two significant sources of funding. We have a third, which is the partners pay us like a dues kind of structure, but that generates less than 1% of our overall budget. And those funds are just typically plowed right back into partner programs. So the majority of our funds come from taxes on hotel rooms in the city and in the county of St. Louis, and then rents and revenues from events in America Center.
And that
And
all dried up with COVID.
both of those dried up.
Yeah.
They dried up. And so we had to figure out how to keep our own organization going. We weren't eligible for PPP in 2020 under the CARES Act. We didn't have a tax classification that fit because we're actually a political subdivision. We're actually a kind of a quasi-governmental agency. So we didn't fit. So we couldn't get a PPP, and because we're quasi-governmental, we had a hard time getting a loan. We'd never had to get a loan before. So it required us to make a lot of changes. Our staff stuck with us, and we're a little bit smaller than we were before, but it's a mighty team.
You adapted and you pushed through. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Kitty, we're on the other side of the pendulum now, where as quickly as things dried up, you may experience a flood of new interest or new activity. How are you all going to reemerge with the world opening up?
Yeah, it's really been an interesting journey for the last 15 months as we approached having things shut down and working with customers who had events scheduled, who had to cancel them and try to figure out that. So we've gone through various phases to working with, we worked with the mayor and the county executive last year. We wrote with industry working groups that we put together, we wrote the reopening guidelines that Mayor Cruson and County Executive Page announced last May. We wrote those and worked with the pandemic task force and the public health officials on getting them so that those were viable for them. And then we saw an upswing over the summer because things opened, but then we saw a shutdown back again in the fall. And as the COVID numbers increased over the fall period, and people really didn't travel anymore, even though they had been traveling a little bit on the weekends. So we've had this, kind of up and down and up and down, and without being able to predict what the next thing holds, I think we're finally in a place where we can start to make those predictions. And so,
Have you found that during this pandemic, and some people aren't ready to travel, maybe internationally or even to neighboring cities, that people are becoming tourists again in their own city? I know that I have found some amazing, strange things to do in St. Louis since the pandemic. Do those individuals also look to you all for support or ideas as if they would when they were visiting a city, not what they didn't consider home?
yeah, it's a great question, because in fact, that's what we found last year, which was incredible given the fact that everything was shut down, but we were pushing out information about things you could do locally, was that our website traffic actually went up, and it was local.
Their dream
It was
planning.
it was local, and it was people within a driving distance who could figure out that even if they weren't comfortable going to the grocery store, they were comfortable checking into a hotel with their family and doing something fun with their kids that they couldn't do anywhere else. And so we actually saw some numbers increase, and the website traffic was the one that was the most surprising because it went up so high. So I think you're absolutely right, Jamie. People were desperate to do something, and the traditional things that they had been able to do, like going to the movies, things like that weren't available, they were really reaching out and trying to figure out what was available for them to do and how to go about exploring it. So it's actually been kind of fun.
That's awesome. Speaking of being a tourist in your own town, what are your favorite local spots to hit?
Oh, that's
And actually,
many.
that would have been the same question that I was thinking we would close out with. What are your top 3 recommendations as we close out?
Well, it's a little different. I guess I would answer those 2 questions a little differently. My favorite, probably my favorite thing in all of St. Louis is Forest Park, because there's so much that you can do in Forest Park, from just from walking the trails and exploring what you can find there to the institutions and things that are in there. And I love walking through there and watching the people. It's a great, for our region, it is a great people watching place. It is fun to see people out there walking with their dogs or having little picnics on the grass with their kids. And I walked through Forest Park on Friday night. I went out after work and walked around, and there were people taking prom pictures and people taking wedding pictures. And so that's my favorite thing, because there's so many ways that you can enjoy it in St. Louis. It's not even seasonal. It's, you can enjoy it year round. We've got some really interesting kind of, out of the way places that, the Endangered Wolf Center,
Wow.
World Bird Sanctuary.
Yeah.
I mean, there are places in our region that most people probably haven't found, but maybe because of the pandemic, maybe they have found them this past year.
Well, it sounds like we can come to you and find out all of the places and many places that we hadn't even dreamed about, and rediscover or discover for the first time our Missouri in an entirely different way. Kitty, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like more information about Explore St. Louis, be sure to visit their website, exploreStLouis.com, or you can follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Explore St. Louis. Stay tuned, we'll be back for more, and let's talk.
Hey, let's check out this park. Wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back. In our first segment, we spoke with the president of Explore St. Louis, Kathleen "Kitty" Ratcliffe, about tourism in the area now that the world seems to be opening back up. We now turn to our audience. The STL TV crew hit the streets to see if folks plan to do any traveling soon, since a vaccine has been made available. Let's take a look.
I am planning to travel to California with a friend. We're gonna hang out, find good places to eat, find good places to have fun. We're just gonna vibe and take in the California sun.
We going to the Lake of the Ozarks and Six Flags, so basically just a lot of swimming and, conversing.
This summer, I'm gonna go to the University of San Diego in San Diego. Maybe I'll get to see the zoo there. Additionally, I'm gonna go to Cozumel, which is an island off of the Yucatan Peninsula, and go scuba diving with my family.
I just became a grandfather for the second time, and I might be going to San Antonio, Texas.
This summer, I'm going to Costa Rica with my family, and I'm probably gonna surf, eat some good food, maybe go see some cool animals in the forest and stuff. It's gonna be fun, I think. I'm excited.
It'd be nice to be able to go back home. I'm from Wichita, Kansas. Haven't seen my family in a while, especially due to COVID. So I'll be going back home at least maybe a week or so, get to see the family. Way off in the future, maybe some other summers, I want to return back to Africa, probably Dar es Salaam. I studied Swahili back in the day, so if I can go back to Dar es Salaam, continue using Swahili, that would be great.
Oh, wow. That really makes me kind of want to get back out, I'll have to say. It's been so long that I've almost forgotten how good it feels to do something outside of the house. I want to do lots of stuff, but I'm still kind of unsure. Where are you at about things, Amber?
I'm everywhere. Comedy shows have started back up. I got vacations to make up for. I got float trips to go on. I'm going to Savannah this summer. I'm going to the Carolinas. I'm going to Florida. I'm going anywhere that I can get to.
All right. Is that with restriction, no restriction, masked, unmasked, vaxxed, unvaxxed? Are you just
at this
free
point,
now?
I'll follow whatever rules they want me to follow as long as I can go. Yeah. So whatever rules they are, I will follow them just so that I can go.
Well, there's one you may have forgotten, though, that wasn't necessarily publicly stated, and that was when you plan these trips to be sure you contact me so that I can get
I'm in.
on.
Let's go.
I mean, look, Savannah for sure, float trips for sure. I'm in. Take me.
Let's do this. I'll send you my calendar. I'll send you an Evite.
Yes, I'll take it. So, Jamie, are you going to travel? And if so, where? And do you even feel comfortable traveling now that there's a vaccine?
I feel comfortable. I have traveled about 4 times since being vaccinated in March, and I felt more comfortable with that. I've traveled planes, trains, and automobiles. When they've had very strict restrictions of middle seat open, things like that. And I traveled Amtrak where it was not full capacity. And then on my way back home, it was 100% capacity. So that was very interesting. I feel comfortable. I think that part of it is I'm ready to get back out. I love outside. But I also feel like I'm going to do more exploring in St. Louis this year. So many things about our city that I love and I always advocate for others to do, but I want to be more intentional about doing them myself. Absolutely. So one of my goals this summer is to take a trip with the Black People Who Hike group and make sure that I can take one of their excursions. I'm trying to gear myself up, get ready for it. I want to do a float trip, so I'll probably contact Amber for that. But I want to explore St. Louis more than I have ever before this year.
Yeah, I do too.
I got 3 float trips planned. Y'all can come to any and all.
That's it. It sounds like we can go ahead and jump in. I feel more comfortable now that I'm even surprised that I'm even saying it now. You basically didn't skip a beat. What drove your resolve that, hey, you know what? I'm still going to get out there. I'm still going to do things and try things. And it sounds like you have an even greater appreciation now to make sure you don't miss out going forward. What was behind that determination and courage, even some might say?
So for me, it was, I spent a great deal of 2020 inside the house, but at the end of 2020, I, didn't catch COVID, but I caught cancer. And so surviving, some health challenges and things like that, I believe it really just changed my outlook on life. And I'm not sad about things. I'm not looking back in the past. I'm really looking forward to what's next. And I kept thinking, what if I didn't have the opportunity to go to the bird sanctuary with my son, or go to the Ferris wheel with my friends and take selfies, or take a trip and walk around the arch? Those are things I don't want to regret. And so I'm being more intentional and saying the time is now, and the time has always been now. But I think with COVID, we know it's right now. So I'm here for it.
That's it, Jamie. What about you, Amber?
I have already been told once in life that this was it for me. I was very sick, and I got told that this I may not see the next day. And so I do think that I have to minimize the risk, but at the same time, I still have to live my life. So I just adapted. I did a pivot, and instead of spending time indoors, even when it was winter and stuff, I was going outdoors. I was exploring areas around me that I hadn't yet gotten to because I was so busy going further. So I kind of drew a circle on the map that was a 3-hour drive, and I did all of these cool hikes and saw some things even in the winter. There is a castle in Missouri overlooking a river. It's like the ruins of a castle. It's cool. I will have to tell you guys what it is because I can't remember the name right now. It's about 3 hours away, and it's gorgeous, and nobody else was out there. So, and I'm not gonna, catch COVID in the woods at that point. So I felt very safe.
Yeah, well, I like that model of, hey, let's just see where our spirit leads. And I think we could all use some levity in that area right now. So right on to you. I want to have each of you send an encouragement or invitation for folks to get out and try too, if you have something to share. Jamie?
I think my message to everyone will be, at the end of the day, you have to do what's comfortable for you and do what's right to protect you and your family. And also follow the guidelines of the CDC and yourself. But there's so much to see, and there's so many things that do not require a budget, a big budget, or any budget at all. So if you need something to do, follow STL TV. And every show, I believe, we always show something to do, somewhere to go, or someone to meet. And if you're lost, connect with us, and we're here to help you. So do what you got to do to get outside, because that's what I'm loving.
I actually started an outdoors group, and I uploaded an Excel spreadsheet of all the places that I'd been to so that other people could go there too. And I put how far away it was and what was cool about it and what cost what. So we went places like Snake Road or the Pink Rocks. And it was fun because even though we weren't there together, we could all upload pictures to the same album, or we could share, hey, I saw this there. What did you see there? And I think that if you guys want to join me in that group, you should. So
that sounds like a treasure, and I absolutely will. Thank you for that invitation, Jamie and Amber. It's always good to see you, and I love when we talk.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jade. And I can't wait to see you outside all summer long.
I'm giving you both an air hug. I love you guys so much tonight. Cannot wait to go have all kinds of adventures with you.
For sure. If you don't mind me screaming at those snakes and whatnot.
That's fine. Me too. One fell from a tree. I thought I was dying. It's fine.
Right. Sorry, snakes?
Well, that's part of the adventure, and that is our show for today, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to get out and explore St. Louis. Support the businesses in this region, as we know they're trying to recover from the global pandemic. Before you get out, be sure to like us and follow us on all of our social media platforms. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can check us out at stltv.net. I'm Jade Harrell, and for Jamie Valentine Dolby, Amber Clear, we'll see you next time for another episode of Let's Talk.
I thought you were drinking lotion, Jade, and I was very concerned.
Keep my mouth moisturized with some lotion. Are we go? All right. 3, 2, and 1. We are not a go.
Yeah, you guys will ad lib and comment if you have any travel plans. You can talk about that. Do you feel comfortable traveling?
Ooh, she wrote my promo. Look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh.